see. Ooh, here's a cool load for somebody we could bid on. Let's see. Ooh, I have a driver that's not that far away. Let's give him a call and see if he'll take this load.
Hi, this is Jason.
Hi, Jason. It's Sally at XYZ. How are you today?
I'm good. Yourself?
I'm awesome. Hey, I've got a run that we can possibly bid on for you, and I wanted to see if you're interested.
Sure. Can you tell me about it?
Yeah, it's a load, and it's picking up only 20 miles away from you, going 2,500 loaded miles. It's 2 pieces at 6,200 pounds.
Oh, that sounds awesome. We'd like to take that.
I know y'all been sitting for a couple days, so I thought this would be an awesome load for y'all.
What's the rate on it?
Well, let's see. Unfortunately, since we've got so many trucks there and we're trying to move y'all out, it's going to be a reduced rate. It's going to be about 20 cents less than what your regular rate is. But it's getting you some good miles and getting you going.
I have been sitting here 3 days. I don't usually like taking reduced rates, but I need to get out of here, and there's 7 other trucks they can call with this load if I don't take it. It is 2,500 miles.
Okay, we'll go ahead and take it. Thanks for the load.
Sure, Jason. Thanks so much. I'll get everything sent over to you as soon as we get the bid back.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Hey guys, so we wanted to kind of have a little fun with that clip at the beginning, and if you hadn't figured it out, what we want to talk about today is reduced rate runs. It is something that you may have to deal with when you're out here, and we want to talk about when it's okay to take a reduced rate run and when it's not okay, and kind of know the difference of when you should or when you shouldn't.
Knowing when to take a reduced rate load is kind of hard, once you get out here and you're used to it a while, you'll know when you're going to need to take a reduced rate. Usually when you're on a board that has a lot of other trucks and freight really isn't moving, that's when the dispatchers will start looking to bid on loads for you. And a lot of times when they're bidding on these loads, they have to go as low as possible because the amount of trucks versus the amount of freight isn't equal. There's greater trucks versus greater freight, and shippers know this, and they know they can usually get freight shipped a little bit cheaper when there's an abundance of trucks sitting around trying to get a load. A lot of times when you're sitting on a board with, say, 10 trucks, and let's use it for an example, Laredo. A lot of times Laredo will stack up with trucks and there's not a lot of trucks getting out of there. That's a hard place for us sometimes, is because a lot of times you'll get a load to Laredo and it's good miles, but you're going to end up sitting a couple days down there or end up taking a reduced rate coming out. A lot of times, if you're going to accept a load like that, you want to try to get a little bit extra. And that's normally how trucking works. Most 18-wheelers, they won't go to Florida unless it's paying really good because they know they're not going to get a load out of there. And if they do get a load, it's going to be very cheap. If you're going into those areas, the rate should be better than what you normally make to kind of balance out coming out of there for a cheaper rate. And that makes, if you get a good rate going down there, it's going to make it a lot easier to be able to accept a cheaper rate coming out of there. You won't mind so much because you knew you got a good load going down there, and it will balance out your average.
Nobody wants to take a cheaper rate, but sometimes you just have to do that. Something like Jason said, Laredo, sometimes in California. Those are the 2 main areas that in the last 4 years we have seen that happen. Just when we were in California this last week, we had to take a reduced rate to get out. We sat 4 days, and that's what made us think about doing this video because, that is a possibility that could happen. So you've got to think of it this way. Again, nobody likes cheap freight, but if you don't take that load and you've been sitting there 4 or 5 days, chances are they're going to give it to the next person, and somebody's going to accept that load. So do you want to sit there an additional 1 to 2 days waiting for something where you're going to end up taking a reduced rate anyway,
Right.
just to get out of there? You know, that's something you've got to weigh and see.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes, I mean, if you turn down a reduced rate run, how many days are you going to have to sit waiting for that load that is going to pay you? Chances are you're going to have to wait for all the other trucks to get out of there, and you run the risk of more trucks coming in. So,
now, we don't want you to think that this happens all the time, because it doesn't. You know, I think in the last 4 years, how many times have we had to take a reduced rate run?
maybe 5 or 8 times.
Yeah, no more than 10 times in 4 years have we
Right.
ever had to do that. And, you know, so it's not an all the time occurrence. So,
Well, depending on what kind of vehicle you drive.
yeah, that's
We talk with a lot of cargo van guys who are saying they're having to come out of Laredo at 50, 60 cents a mile, you know, so that's below their average pay, and they're usually taking about a 20-cent cut. So even for you guys, you want to try to get a little bit more going down to Laredo.
Yeah.
Ask your dispatch, well, how many trucks are already down there? How many are en route? If there's 5 trucks there, 5 en route, you're going to be one of them. That means you're going to have 10 other trucks to compete with. So then comes the time, is that 1,800-mile load to Laredo worth it? You know, if their dispatch doesn't have enough money to put extra on the load to kind of help for those extra days that you're going to sit, it might not be worth it to go down to Laredo and sit a couple days. That's a call we all have to make on our own, you know. Only we can determine if that's going to make us enough money for the whole week. If we get that one run all week and we don't get a next load till the next week, is it worth sitting down there? Are you going to be, is it summertime? Are you going to be running your generator the whole time, 3 days straight, trying to stay cool? You know, there's a lot of things that have you factor into that decision. Only you can make that decision too. We're not saying don't go to Laredo. We're not saying don't take reduced rate loads. You have to determine what's best for you, just like we have to determine what's best for us. What works for one person may not work best for us. That's expediting sometimes. While one person might go down to Laredo 5 times in a month, and every single time he got out of there, you might go down there and sit 2 days out of all 5 times that you go down there, and you'll have to sit 2 days waiting for get your next load. Sometimes it's a luck of the draw, you know. Depending if you're with a different company.
depends on your carrier, the type of vehicle you're in. There's a lot of factors.
Yeah.
It's just one thing that you will eventually have to deal with out here, being in expediting. Now, some of the reasons you wouldn't want to take a reduced rate run, you know, let's say you just got to an area, you are the only truck there, you know that's a really good freight area. They're doing a lot of loads out of there a day. You know, they call you, you drop your load, they call you first thing, and they're like, hey, Billy, we got this load, but it's 10 cents less than what your rate is.
We got 1,800 miles taking you down to Laredo. It's going to be 10, 20 cents less than your regular rate. Why am I going to want to go down to Laredo for a reduced rate when I'm going to have to come out of there in a reduced rate?
Right, and you just got to the area you're in. You haven't
and
been
it's a good
there.
area.
Yeah, it's a good area.
You're going to get another call.
Yeah.
You know, don't feel obligated to take every single load all the time. You know, I mean, make sure it makes sense for you, you know.
Like Jason said, it's really, nobody can tell you, yes, this is how you should do it, this is how you shouldn't do it. You know, it comes with experience, and it comes with being out here and doing it. You know, I think we've said this before, but it took us the whole first year was a learning curve, you know, and we're still not experts by any means, you know. We just try to do these videos to help people with the knowledge that we know, but we don't claim to be experts, but we do want to help and get the info out there for people to just think about, think
Right.
about these things, because, nobody is telling you this in orientation. Hey, you may be offered a reduced rate load,
Yeah.
So just stuff, as things come up that happen with us, just like this topic here, we want to jump on and share things with you and information. And if it helps one person, that's great. If it helps many, that's even better. So,
And I want to give you a little example. Just last week we were in California. We dropped off in Sacramento. When we dropped off, we were the only truck in the area.
and this has happened a couple times in the last
The
couple
only
of months.
truck up there. They were doing
Yeah.
2 a day. Not a great board, but they're doing something. They're doing loads. We're the only truck there. So we had the choice to make. Stay in Sacramento, wait for a load, move down to Ontario, Los Angeles,
LA,
where there's 10 trucks. I think there was 8 trucks there.
8 trucks.
Move down there, be 9th on the board, but they were doing, it said like 8 or 9 loads a day.
Mm-hmm.
But we would be one of the last drivers. So it was a hard decision to make.
Yeah,
And the decision we made was stay up in Sacramento and see, hopefully, we get a load Monday.
But
It didn't work out for us.
Right.
Then we ended up having to suck it up, move on down to LA. If we would have just went ahead and went down to LA, chances are we still would have sat till Wednesday. That's the luck of the draw sometimes.
It is.
And
It's just a tough call. I mean, it's really a tough call to make. If it's not the right call, move on and
maybe next time we go to Sacramento, we're going to try the opposite decision. We're going to go straight down to Ontario.
Yeah, we even talked about that. I'm like, what? If we get another run to Cali, if we're going up north, and if they don't have us something by the time we deliver,
as soon as we drop off, we're gone.
We head down to LA, especially if they're moving trucks out.
And chances are that might not work out for us either. It's the luck of the draw sometimes.
It's 50-50 sometimes. You never know, you know. I mean,
that's the hard part is making those decisions. I even called our owner and said, hey, well, what do you think? We bounced a couple ideas off each other, and he basically said, flip a coin.
Yeah.
That's what we did.
Yeah.
We heads or tails. Do we stay or go? And
there's so many factors in that too. I mean, there's, you could go to one area at one time that's booming, and then the next time it just isn't. Areas that are doing good aren't doing good all the time. Just like Laredo, the beginning of the months aren't good, the ends of the months are great. It's the industry that we're in fluctuates so much, and it's so unpredictable. You really don't know, and you gotta, again, we're kind of getting off subject with that, but we really just wanted to talk about reduced rates.
There's no clear answer.
There's not.
It's really just getting out here, trying your luck, trying to make the right decision, the right call. What's going to work best for you. If it doesn't work the one way you did last time, try a different decision the next time and play with it. And I don't think any one expediter is a complete expert at this. I know some of the oldest veterans, they've made some bad calls before. It just happens out here. So
it happens. Nobody's has a crystal ball to know what's going to happen once you get to somewhere.
And that's the importance of keeping track of your numbers, knowing what you need to run. For instance, that load from California to Michigan we still made money, but we didn't make as much.
Right.
So, but if we didn't take that, we probably would have sat another 2 days. So we wanted to share our experiences with you guys, kind of give some ideas, just share our opinions and our,
kind of things that happen to us,
things that have happened to us.
If you do have any questions on reduced rate runs, we'll be happy to kind of help you with that. If you want to shoot us an email, comment down below, find us on Facebook. We can just kind of give you our insight on it. Maybe you have a specific question about it. We're always happy to help in any way we can.
Yeah.
As always, guys, thank you so much for watching and subscribing. And until our next video, peace,
love,
and expediting.